Hello, everyone. My name is Krystal Popov. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, we want to share with you a mission and a movement of health and wealth education. And over the last couple years, since I've met Sean and his wife Tylene, they have really changed the lives of not only my family, but thousands of people around the country, really, in teaching plant medicine and back to nature. And so I want to introduce Sean Loomer and talk to me about, well, first of all, how long have you and your wife been in this kind of holistic plant medicine industry?
It's been a while. I kind of studied my own things along the way with juicing and whatnot years and years ago after I'd lost my mom to colon cancer. Yeah. That was like in the mid-90s. And then Tylene and I met, my wife, we met about 20 years ago. And she really just changed my world. And so really the last 20-some years, she's been doing it a long time. And then together, I don't know, over 15 years, we've really been on this mission.
So when I know this story, I want you to share this with our audience, but when you first met your wife, what was that conversation?
Wow, it was really kind of an interesting conversation. That's changed my world. I mean, imagine 20 years ago hearing words like stabilized probiotics or plant enzymes and whole food supplementing and things like that. But I met my wife in my mid-30s. I was dealing with some really bad arthritis in my hands. I also had acid reflux, indigestion, some not so fun things, and I didn't understand why these were happening to me. I thought I was doing some things that I should be doing, and anyhow, she just enlightened me in such a way. She made it so simple. She had worked with hundreds of doctors, but she wasn't a doctor, and so, but I was open. Sometimes we have to kind of unlearn what we've learned, right, to advance and to really grow, and that's what she taught me, and it was really miraculous to me. Krystal, in about, 4 or 5 days, I just remember not having hand pain anymore, and it's been like 20 years, so roughly 20 years now, I've not had any hand pain, no acid reflux, no indigestion. And the amazing thing about that is that's before I changed anything food-wise or physically. Like,
and we all know that diet's a problem. However, she's got some simple steps for people to take. Yeah. She's been doing this so long, and she's obviously very passionate about it. She's helped so many, and we got together to help people because we, when this happened to me, I went back to her, I'm like, how come everyone doesn't know this information? Yeah. This is ridiculous, how silly simple this is. Yeah. And so after a few years of me kind of researching and always calling her and bothering her, what about this and what about that? We ended up saying, let's just start this together. Let's start a movement. I really wouldn't call it a business. I guess it was a business, but how do we help people understand that they can do so many more things to prevent health issues for themselves and the people they love and care about? And then how can they allow their body, this is what I didn't realize in the beginning. This was really that aha moment for me, was the body's miraculous. Yeah. And when given the opportunity and the chance, let's see what it'll do on its own to go to the root issue, to kind of reverse or fix that. Let's not put a Band-Aid on it. Yeah. Let's not do that. And there's, that's not any judgment for anyone who does that. It's just, it starts with food, obviously. Yes. That food be thy medicine, Hippocrates, and then, but there are other little things you can do via plant medicine and some simple steps that they're life-changing. I have an example. I mean, when I met you and Tylene, and I started traveling with you at the time, I'm educating financially, teaching people how to manage their money. And I walked into these room full of people, 200, 300 people, and you and Tylene were educating for an hour. People didn't leave their seats because they were hungry for information. We are the sickest generation right now this country's ever seen. I mean, we are ready to go back to nature.
Ready.
We're so ready.
I mean, it's been a while, and I just want to make a quick comment. It's super cool to me how life works, and you can call it synchronicity, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but even that you're in our lives now, you were educating Ty and I financially, which is, we needed that. Yeah. We needed that. And then we got to help you guys on the health side, you and Alex and your family. And it's just super cool. When we're open, we seem to attract more people into our lives that we can kind of take it to a whole nother place. And I just wanted to comment on that because we love you guys and we appreciate what you did for us, and then being able to watch you grow, because financially you knew what was going on, but now, and you've got a lot of passion for this.
And really, one of the things that I want to express is not only are we changing people's life health-wise, but financially, and we want to teach you how to do that here in a minute. The first thing that when I heard their education on plant-based enzymes, whole food supplements, and how not all vitamins are created equal, and I started really diving into the research on that, because I'm a researcher as well, I immediately thought of my mom, who's been suffering from high cholesterol for many, many years, and she just couldn't handle the statin drug. She didn't want to go on medicine. She knew the side effects of it. And when Tylene said, "Man, you've got to
introduce her to plant enzymes, and I started just stuffing her full of plant enzymes and teaching her about food, all this stuff that you had taught me. And within 4 months, her cholesterol was down 42 points. Yeah. And it was something natural, a way that I could help her. And that's why I'm so passionate about educating on this.
Yeah, it's our body's super smart.
Yeah.
It just needs a chance. And we're just so far off the path of nature. I mean, Mother Nature's got it going on.
Yeah.
Right? Mother Nature knows what's happening. And that's really, I think, the important thing. And what we taught for the last 15, 20 years, whatever it's been, is when it comes to whole food supplementing, you hear the word whole food, it's not about synthetics. It's not about chemicals. We get enough of that stuff. Yeah. Let's not add more of that into our body when we're trying to do something good. So we've always been on that road, kind of teaching that. And then, Krystal, in the beginning, we were laughed at. Yeah. We were just kind of weirdo, hippie type people. They would go, we're not really hippies. Tylene says we're hippies that shower. Maybe that's a different thing. Nothing against those who don't. Yeah. But it's interesting how this process takes place. And now everyone wants this info. Like,
seeking it.
They're seeking this, and Tylene's amazing, and she creates these enzyme products or supplements, whatever you want to call them. And we did so many of those. She was helping doctors and make products for doctors and health practitioners, and then we had a retail brand for many years, and that's not. We never wanted that. Yeah. And if you're in stores like Whole Foods or Vitamin Shops or things like that, that's not what it was about to us, because it wasn't about selling product. It was about enlightening people, and bottles on shelves don't talk.
Yes.
And that's really what this is all about, is how do we help others? Because the only way you're going to help other people is sharing information. The only way you're going to share information is if you're like, oh my gosh, this did this for me, or this did this for my family, or whatever. It's stories.
Real stories.
Real stories.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which is actually studying plants and nature is how you met, and we're going to jump to another topic of CBD, right, which is a very hot topic right now, and as well as it should be. This plant is amazing. But you met, which was kind of in alignment with what you teach, is whole plant, whole flower. No ripping the nature apart, right? No. And you met someone.
I get goosebumps. My whole body. I don't know if I have goosebumps just because. And we were speaking last night at an event, and it just reminded me of that. Yep. How did this even happen?
Yep.
How did we get introduced to this one person who had figured out a way like 10 years ago how to extract plants, any plant, Krystal, not just hemp or cannabis or what you hear with the CBD, any plant. He was doing exactly what we were doing with nature, with no chemicals and not destroying nature, and like with heat. Yeah. And so we were researching. So about 5 years ago, it's really when we started going down that path. And that was different for me personally, because I was pretty ignorant, like many people are. I didn't know what that hemp or cannabis, I didn't know that plant. And so I had to and I had no experience with that in my life. Yeah. So we really dove into the research side, and what we learned from him and what he had figured out was, it was amazing. And no one else has done that process, I should say, where it's just the plant. Yeah. They're not, when these companies are marketing and they're making products, you can say a lot of words, Krystal. You can say things that sound cool, like natural or
organic
or whatever you want to say. Yeah. But in reality, is wait a minute, let's take a step back. What are you doing? Yeah. And so this gentleman figured out. Now he has multiple, patents on this thing. Yeah. How to take this whole flower, one time extract, just once, get all what are called cannabinoids, the available CBD that's available in that whole flower, and deliver it to the human body in such a way that is dramatically different than any CBD product, oil, that are out there. And those products, it's not a judgment on any of those products, but
that's all they knew.
When the industry is this big, and it's such big in the news, and the Farm Bill, Krystal, just 6 months ago or whatever now, as you know, changed everything. It's really leveled the playing field, made it legal. Mm-hmm. The industry just everyone went nuts because CBD was, I don't want to get into too deep, but let's just say that real plant medicine is unbelievable when done the correct way, and he figured out a way to do it in such a way that no one else is doing. Less is more. Yeah. You let the body, just like with whole food supplements, the way we make Tylene, I shouldn't say me, it's my wife makes the supplements. Yeah. My partner over here, we ended up partnering so we could educate, and that's why we partnered with him. Yeah. Not only because it was super clean, but because he wanted education, and that's why we came to an agreement. We're going to go educate everyone. It's just unbelievable.
What I love about this particular CBD is a fluid and not an oil. Yeah. And our body is mostly water. So everyone knows that if you put oil in water, it doesn't mix, right? Oil and water separate, which is why, and the studies show that if you put oil under your tongue, you can hold it for a minute, 2 minutes, put a dropper in there, it doesn't matter, that your body's only going to really absorb about 6 to 10% of that oil. So no matter think of how many milligrams are putting of these CBD isolates into this oil, mixing it with oil and stuff, and then your body's only absorbing part of it. Whereas the fluid that they promote and they endorse literally mixes in with water. It's called Soothe, right? So, and so people are getting more in a very small dose, which makes it most cost effective.
Yeah, because you're paying less per dose because you only need a couple drops.
A couple drops.
And typically most CBD products out there are a dropper, which is 20 drops.
Yeah.
So no one really talks about their cost per dose.
Yeah.
That's something they don't tell you. And it's really about just going back to nature, like you said. And the body's amazing if given the chance. He's produced something that is unbelievable. I mean, Krystal, the cool thing about all this is we've been doing this so long with all the health practitioners, all the people we've worked with, whether it's cancer, whether organizations or patients in other countries. We've been doing this before we could really do it in the U.S. And we're grateful that the Farm Bill passed to allow us to really have a platform now, and we can talk about that in a minute, where we can at least have this conversation. And what Tylene has put together for all those years, and getting to work with all this NBA and NHL and NFL and blah 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 and NCAA, that's because that was nature. That wasn't putting more chemicals into the human body. That was giving plant medicine, plant enzymes, things like that, whole food supplementing into the human body and allowing it to do what it's capable of doing on its own. So the story is, that's been going on a long time, and now for the last 5 years or so, the same thing with this whole flower CBD fluid, as you mentioned. Together we've discovered they're incredible.
And the stories that we're hearing. I mean, that was the biggest thing for me, because I was uneducated in CBD. In fact, when our company, we'll talk about our platform, but when our company launched CBD, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I want to be in this space because I don't get it, right? But here's what I did know. I knew that there was a reason people were wanting this plant to be able to get out there and available for everyone, and it's because it works.
It works.
It works.
And the proof's in the dose, the proof's in the results.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
I had a story yesterday, a gentleman that said, in the middle of the night, his young daughter got up and came in, tapped her dad on the shoulder and said, Dad, I have these cramps, and he said, hold on 1 second. He gave her a very small dose of this fluid, and within 20 minutes, she went back down and went to sleep. I mean, it was a very quick results. And some people get quick results. Some people, it may take a few days. It may take a couple weeks. It depends on everybody's different.
Our body's the same but different, and we have different issues that we're dealing with. And I won't go into the detail about the system that's in your body. Our bodies are trying to make the CBD basically with this this endocannabinoid system. No one knew this. This was all discovered, you guys, by the way, in Israel. It's a whole other story, but yes, it does something different for everyone.
Yes.
And that's okay. And some people will feel things immediately, and sometimes it'll be a day or two, or a week or two, or a month or two, or whatever. But it's when you use what I'll call real CBD, the body goes into what's referred to as homeostasis, and it starts to balance itself, along with the hormones balancing. And when the body starts to balance itself, Krystal, everything, as you know, it starts to function, it becomes more efficient, it starts to communicate differently, and that's where all this change is coming from. And we can't even go into the list of what real CBD can do for someone's body because it's so long. And you don't want to, just go. It was just silly. But you just mentioned something with the stomach and anything with the brain. Of course, there's so many things in pain, and for some people it might help them sleep. For some people it may not. And it just depends what you have these receptors and what they're looking for. And some of us our receptors are starving more than others. And we feel things quicker. But the great news about all of this, Krystal, is that just like we've done for 20 years with whole food supplements, and we've been teaching whole food versus synthetics for 20 years. So whole food, whole flower, whole plant, that is what it is, and we are doing the same when it comes to CBD, that type of plant medicine. And the future is just incredible, because remember what this gentleman does is it's for any plant. For any plant that he can do this. So imagine the different things that people do with plants and what they use them for. I won't go into that, but just let your mind wander a little bit. So we're super excited about the future. And we're grateful for people like you. But talk about, just for a minute, I know we want to wrap this up. But talk about this platform, how we even met, and how now we're able to do not only what you were doing financially, but now this health education.
Well, so I'm an engineer by schooling, so I'm a numbers gal, right? I never thought I'd be educating really in the health world, especially. I mean, I loved holistic healing, but never thought I would educate in it. So when I met Sean and Ty, and I'm educating financially, something that really the spearhead of the movement, three gentlemen, what they realized that it's what good is all your money if you don't have your health. And they met you and Ty, they knew the alignment was there, and then brought in some of these products that Tylene and Sean have been formulating and educating on for years, brought them in-house to our platform, which means we can distribute them through direct sales. So people like you that's watching this video, you can have a part in, number one, educating and really making a difference in people's lives, health, but more importantly, or just as importantly, I would say, is allow you to financially benefit. So Sean talked about having these products in Whole Foods and in natural grocers, and why give the money there when we can give the money?
You're not going to get a great education.
Not going to get educated. When we can allow people who understand this movement, maybe have been affected positively by our products, and allow you to take it, introduce it to other people, we will help you and create an incredible stream of income. And when I mean incredible, I went from at home with a newborn, making $500 a month in another home-based business, and I wanted to be home, so I wanted the home-based business model, to coming to this movement, and within a few years earning 6 figures.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And there's two things that really created that. Is a platform's compensation plan is unlike any other in the industry. It's the most fair compensation plan I've ever seen. You don't get cut off, and I can go into details, but I'm so in love of the way they pay their field and appreciate their field.
It's real residual income.
Real residual.
Right? And I think that's what most people are really looking for on a home-based business. Having that, generating that 100%. Other revenue stream, because it's what I love, if I can
and
interject.
Products that work. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's information, it's education.
Yeah, first.
And then we don't need, as long as we've enlightened someone, we're cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just who we are.
Yeah.
And then when they add things like plant medicine, plant enzymes, and their life and their health starts to evolve and change, then that's where the magic starts to happen. Right? But what I love about this platform, and we're so grateful for this platform and the owners who put this together, is that it's education, great. We love that, of course, that's a given. But on the compensation or revenue or whatever you want to call that side, it's not for the superstar recruiter thing.
Yeah.
It's not one of those where you're paid to bonuses for recruiting people. It's, you know what I mean? It's like the more you just share, the better it gets. It's real. If you're not familiar with residual income, everyone always talks about real, what I call back end pay. And so for me, it's always, I love being an entrepreneur, but this has helped me so many people. That's just such an amazing thing. Tylene always dreamed of having what she called an enzyme army, and she has that now. I mean, tens of thousands of people now. I mean, we're growing at a really good rate.
Rapid rate.
And that's because it's education and products that have results. It's not a hypey, salesy thing.
Exactly.
Exactly. You got to share the information.
Exactly.
So we don't want to sell anyone anything. We never did.
And then 6 months ago, we brought on the CBD fluid, which is a massive industry. And I have friends that want to be in the space, and they say, "Do I invest in a grower? Do I? What do I? Do I get into? Do I invest in a dispensary? Do I do this?" And we have such a simple way that they can get started with us. They can be involved in our movement. They can become an educator. They can become
how little financially, they can get involved in the business. I mean, really,
$99.
$99, or they can start distributing product and sharing product or whatever they want to do. And then last week we introduced our meter dose spray with that same whole flower fluid. So we already took the best absorbing dropper that tastes like a plant, and then we put that into that convenient meter dose spray that tastes amazing.
Yeah, it's like cinnamon. It's like it's delicious.
Cinnamon minty thing. And then they can put it in their pocket or their bag or their purse, and so it's really convenient. They have the dropper, the fluid at home, which you can take, by the way, topically. You can take it orally, just a couple drops. You can put it in your water. You can put it on the pet's food. It's just so cool.
And so if any of this resonated with you, whether it's, man, I really need to learn more about our enzymes, or I really need to learn more about how to, sleep better, reducing anxiety, whatever it is. If you resonate with something because you really need some more information, please reach out to the person that shared this video with you. Get educated on any of the products that we have to offer, really from nature, right? And amazing price point.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You guys,
amazing.
We've been doing gut health for so long, and my wife's been teaching that for 20 years, and now everyone's looking for gut health because now they're finally figured it out. Everything starts in the gut. Even though this research was from the 1930s. Hello, sometimes it takes a little longer. That's okay. But it's just, oh my gosh, everyone just needs this info. They need the info, and that's, it's so important. Everyone, whoever's watching, it's just so important that you take a look at what's going on, and then do whatever works for you, whatever serves you. That's really what this is about. We just want to make sure people are aware of what's happening. Get
more info. And thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for taking some time and watching, and we got to do more of these.
I know, we will. We'll get you some more videos. We'll get Tylene in next time.
Tylene? Yes. We need to get Tylene in there.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye.